Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about fear. I want to talk about what fear is and how we can overcome this fear. I help people heal chronic illness and take their health into their own hands and learn how to become their own healer. So if that's something that you're interested in, hit subscribe button and the bell to be notified of more videos. Fear keeps us from taking chances, taking risks. Fear tries to keep us safe, small, right? Comforted. It tries to keep us taken care of. It tries to keep us safe. That is the sole purpose of fear. Fear can destroy our lives because while we're busy trying to survive and stay safe, we're not going for what's really on our heart, which is our dreams, our goals, our desires, any kind of success or joy. It means taking risks, and it means potentially failing. And that's something that we don't like to, as human beings, risk or to go for, because we don't want that failure. We don't want the fear of failing. We don't want the fear of facing something that we aren't sure whether we're going to be able to come through or face or win over or triumph over. We aren't sure whether we are going to be able to keep ourselves safe and survive and feel protected and comforted. The fight, flight, or freeze response is set up in a way that when we sense danger as human beings, any kind of danger, whether it's from a predator, or a situation, or even our own feelings and emotions that we don't want to feel or that are too heavy or hard, a conflict with a person, right, or a relationship, we tend to either fight, flight, or freeze. And a lot of people lean to one or the other. A lot of what we go through is a fear response. Humans are so fearful. We're fearful of everything by nature. It's in your biology. And you might mentally say, I don't need to be afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that. But biologically, you're like, I just want to be safe. I just want to know everything's going to be okay. I like my routine, my pattern. I just want to feel like I'm in control. And when we feel out of control with an emotion, with a relationship, an event, with an experience, with a dream even, or a goal, and we feel out of control, we're not sure what will happen. We cannot control all the factors. We cannot control our own feelings, anybody else's responses, our own lives, our own feelings, somebody else's emotions. We tend to feel fear. So the strange thing about us humans is that, and the research shows, that what we think about or what we anticipate happening, whether it's good or bad, is usually worse and even better in our minds than it is in real life. So if you are thinking of a really bad situation or an event or a confrontation or something coming up and you have fear about it and you're anticipating it and you're playing these events over and over in your mind, a lot of times we will make it worse in our mind than it actually will be in real life. We make it worse, we make it bigger, we play it up, it's more dramatic. We have a real flair with imagination for making things a lot more dramatic, intense, and we allow ourselves to really internally feel this anticipation, this fear, before it happens. And so we're really good at playing things up over and over and circulating in their mind and making them bigger and more dramatic. And the fear grows. And it's like a child who's thinking about the monster in their room. They can really ramp up their thoughts and their imaginations, until it's wild and the fear is taken over. This also happens when you're thinking about something good. So if you're planning an amazing vacation or a wedding or honeymoon or a certain event, or you imagine you're going to be thinking about building a dream house or going somewhere or doing something, and you have a lot of good feelings about this, you're excited about it. A lot of times in our mind, we will make this bigger. We will ramp it up. We feel the feelings of this joy and the bliss we're going to feel on the beach, and the planning of it. And everything is so amazing and blown out of proportion. We're excited. We feel those feelings. We make them bigger. The anticipation of how great something is going to be can be even better than when we actually get there and go through that thing. It's like, oh, it was great, but it wasn't as great as it was in my mind. So the mind has this thing where it will make things better or worse in our minds than it ever could be in real life. Sometimes the fear of something that we are anticipating can become so big and so powerful in our minds that we're too afraid to do it at all. That we're too afraid to take the step, that we make our life smaller and smaller, so that we find more and more excuses and more reasons that we don't have to face it because we've made it so big. Likewise, if you're thinking about something and planning something that is going to be amazing, maybe you're going to get a huge raise, you're going to build this dream house, you're going to take this amazing vacation, you're going to have this amazing cross-country skiing trip in the woods with beautiful snow with your family, and everything's going to be perfect. The thinking, the pre-thinking, the pre-planning of all the amazing things is going to be bigger, more amazing, feel even better in your mind, and be bigger, that when you finally get to the event or get to the raise or get the job or get the dream house or get the trip, yes, it's good. Yes, it's amazing. But it's not nearly as big or vibrant, or the feelings aren't nearly as strong as what you were thinking they would be. And sometimes these things can even be a bit of a letdown because it was so perfect in our imagination. It was so amazing, right? The weather was perfect. It never rained. Everybody was happy. So if this is true, if both these things are true, what we think about really matters, right? Because we can have the choice to blow up our biggest fears and our worst feelings, or we can blow up and grow our happiness feelings, our joy feelings, right? Our love feelings. Depending on what we choose to think about and rehearse in our mind and plan for and prepare for and think about. Likewise, in the future is what we will get more of. We can spend our time playing our beautiful memories from the past and growing them and making them stronger and remembering the great parts of our past and our childhoods and our life and our relationships. And we can really feel great about that past when we think about it, because it grows so much stronger as we think about it in our mind. Or we can focus on the traumas and the hurts and the regrets, right? And the loss that we've had in our life. And we can blow that up as well by fixating and by thinking and remembering, and it even gets bigger than it ever was. So we have total power when we think about our past to think about good or to think about bad. So since we have the power in our hands to do this, the question is, why aren't we doing this, and how can we start? Step one, if you want to get over fear, the only way to get over fear is to face it head on. And once we start to face these biggest fears, these biggest monsters in our mind, and we realize, that wasn't so bad. I got through it. It wasn't actually as bad as it was in my mind. I'm okay. I survived it. Right? Your brain wants to keep you safe. And if you can meet these fears, every fear that you have, almost looking for the fears, seeking the fears out, going towards the fears. There's a fear. Let's crush it. Let's crush it. Let's crush it. If you meet these fears and you show your brain that you survived, you are safe, you can get through it, you are capable, and you do it with little win after little win after little win. But you start looking at your little fears and you start getting mastery over them. Your brain will start to realize, I don't need to work so hard to try to keep her safe. She's okay. She can handle it. She can do it. She can meet this. She's safe. right? It wasn't as bad as we anticipated, right? And so the only way to crush fear is to meet it head on and to prove to yourself over time, little win after little win after little win, and then you start to have big wins. I can do this. Your confidence grows. I can do more. I can take on more challenges, more risks. I'm okay, right? We're proving to our mind, to our central nervous system, to that old reptilian brain of ours that we can do this. We're safe. We want to take these challenges on. They are not as big as bad as we thought they were in our mind. And then the second half of the equation is that we can focus on what we do want. This is where, if you haven't checked out some of my videos on creating your future dream life and creating your life, then go please check that out on identity creation, because we can choose to think about and blow up in our minds and make it bigger and more amazing than we ever thought things in our future, even if we don't ever do them. We can think about going on a trip even if we never go. We can think about building a dream house even if we never do it. We can think about things. We can think about our wedding or our marriage or a honeymoon or things that we want. We can point our compass, and we don't have to be afraid. Well, what if I never get it? Because if you never get it, you still spent time in your mind blowing up amazing thoughts and feelings towards a future goal that is on your heart. And even if it never came true, it never comes true, you have fully experienced the joy that it would have brought you in real life, the happiness that it would have given you, because we're all looking to get happiness. That's why we have goals and dreams, and we can experience that without ever even reaching the goal or the dream. And in fact, we can experience even more because we can blow it up in our mind even more than it would be in real life. And the great byproduct of this is the more you point your compass in the direction of what you do want and your dreams, and you start blowing things up in your mind, eventually we are going in that direction, and some of these great things are gonna come true. And you are gonna feel those things in real time as well. So that's the secret. That's the secret to overcoming fear and to start making peace. We make peace with what we don't want. We stop blowing these things up in our mind. We prove to ourselves we can do it. We focus on what we do want. We grow that feeling. We experience the happiness, the peace, the safety now, right? Even if we can't get up and get that dream job or that dream house or that dream vacation, we can experience it now. Just like with your chronic health, even if you're not healed now, you can experience all the joy and the love of your relationships and these trips and these amazing things that you want to have happen when you're healed. All these amazing plans that you have for yourself when you're healed, you can think about them now. And you can really take in the happiness from that now, even if you're not able to do it now, right? But instead, we're playing up. What if I can never do it? We're thinking of the loss. We're thinking of the fear. We're thinking of the grief. And we're making it bigger than it needs to be right now. You're making your chronic illness worse right now. You're making your condition worse right now. And we're keeping ourselves from ever experiencing what we want in real life or in our minds. So first your minds, then real life. First make it big in your heart, then in real life. So I want you to try this. I want you to know that we as humans really blow up our thoughts, and you have the power as to which thoughts you are going to blow up. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do so now. And I will see you in the next video.